Some people in business are honestly a little bit afraid to step into their uniqueness because they feel a little bit like funny. What if no one likes my uniqueness? Or what if they think my system's, weird? Or
Yeah.
what if they laugh at me? What if they reject me? The truth of the matter is, if you don't step into your uniqueness, create a unique mechanism and intellectual property, have a unique selling proposition, step into having something, shine about your business. Now, if you don't do this, you will stay general. And if you stay general, you don't attract the amount of clients. You don't get people traveling a long distance, and you end up price comparing.
Welcome to Marketing with Vino, the edutainment business growth podcast, mixing education and entertainment to make growing your service business much more fun. Your hosts, Quinton Venter, online marketing expert, and Gabby Kowalski, creator of the Business Freedom Formula, have a glass of wine and share powerful and up-to-date strategies to help grow your service business fast.
Hey guys, Quinton here from Marketing with Vino, and with us is the amazing Gabby. Welcome, Gabs.
Hello, beautiful people.
How are we?
And hello, handsome Quinton. It's episode 21. Our podcast is fully grown up. She's an adult. We're just laughing at the fact that she can drink in the US now. She's been able to drink in Australia for a few years, but now she's legally allowed to drink in the US too. What are you drinking, my dear friend?
I am sipping on Taylor's. I mean, with Em working from Taylor's, most of our shows, or most of the show on my behalf, has been sponsored by Taylor's. A beautiful Shiraz. Go Taylor's. The rosé is on its way. We had a little bit of a sneak peek. I can't release anything because I don't know about the legalities, but it's fair to say that it's on its way. So I'll be talking more about the rosé when it comes. What are you sipping on?
I am sipping on a lovely Sauv Blanc from Matua. I really do like this drop. It's quite smooth and nice, and it's a beautiful thing.
How does it compare to the Oyster Bay? Because it's the same region, isn't it?
It's a great question. I'm glad you asked that question. Not at all, actually. Honestly, my go-to when it comes to wine is I buy wine based on the lack of preservatives. So if you've listened to our podcast, you've heard me say this many times.
Yeah.
Matua is lovely. It's smooth. It's very similar to Oyster Bay. Slightly different. It's a little bit not smoother, creamier. Slightly more creamier. If that's even.
That is perfectly said. That is entirely.
There we go.
Yeah,
see, we're getting there. We're sounding like an expert.
We should have like tasting notes going along with the episodes.
Creamy. Oh goodness.
Love it. But more importantly,
what's your wine taste like? So, and this is more as a metaphor to your business. So, what we wanted to have a chat to you guys about was, your own unique selling proposition. There's a few things in one. So, when you look at having a unique point of difference in the marketplace, you want to tap into what's unique about you that has you be different. What's your unique mechanism? What's your intellectual property? This shows up in different ways with different businesses. So, for example, Matua is creamy. Well, it is now if it wasn't before. So this is the thing. So, ultimately, when it comes to business, there's a whole bunch of other people doing what you're doing, unless you've got a very unique business, and then that's your unique point of difference. This is the thing. So, what's your unique special thing that has you stand out in the crowd, and are you actually marketing from that particular point of view? So one of my new clients has a laser hair removal clinic, and so the unique thing about her, though, is that she's got a very special kind of laser machine. It's a rare one. I think it's a little bit more expensive, and with this particular laser machine, there's pretty much no pain. So why do I say this? Because the truth of the matter is, what shocks me is that she's not marketing from that angle. She's not beating the drum of, we have this particular machine which is actually pain-free. Compared to other laser machines, this machine is 95% less painful than everything else out there. So you get the results without the pain. And that's a unique mechanism. It's a unique feature, that will have her stand out, which means that, if all she says is I'm a laser hair removalist, well, she's just another laser hair removalist,
Exactly.
right? This way she's got a unique positioning in the marketplace. And so we wanted to have a chat to you about this because so often business owners don't actually beat the drum of their uniqueness. So for example, you could be a hairdresser and you could specialize. You could be like rocking awesome at something. You could be really good at fine hair or curly hair or all of the above. You could actually be awesome at thick hair, curly hair, and fine hair. That could be your uniqueness that you could market from the place of, we've been in business for 20 years. Our stylists are all high-end professionals that have been doing this for 15 years, and we actually specialize not just in fine hair, we also specialize in curly hair and in thick hair. We've got a different system that we created for each particular hair type. So if you come to us, first we're going to, give you an analysis, and you're going to be treated very differently than the person with curly hair if you've got fine hair, or the person with thick hair. And that's actually marketing from the perspective of, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas it's not just, showing them how pretty you make hair look. It's not doing what every other hairdresser's doing, which is, look at how pretty we make things and posting up photos of the prettiness. It's actually putting your foot forward and speaking to the different problems with fine hair, the different problems with curly hair, the different problems with thick hair, really marketing the point of difference. And you could be a hairdresser that actually specializes in fine hair. Now, here's the funny part. That if you specialize in fine hair as a hairdresser, and that's your unique point of difference, if you don't market to that, you're not going to get clients that will travel the extra distance to come see you because they don't know that you specialize in that.
Yeah.
And, what that means is you're going to be stuck with just attracting your local demographic, meaning the people that are roughly, within a certain kilometre distance from your salon, purely because you're not really going out there and positioning yourself with your uniqueness.
Well, it's like the GP and a heart surgeon, for example. It's someone that, although that is niche so specifically, but it is someone that has a very unique selling proposition, someone that is very unique in its field, and therefore people travel the distance to go to that specific place.
Yep.
It's where everyone can go to a GP just around the corner. And the same would be with how you position your business. And there's different ways. As Gabby has just mentioned, there's the laser hair removalist who has an amazing equipment to be able to put herself in a unique way. The hairdresser that is focusing on specific hair types. But there's also, in a way, your customer service, strategies, systems that you use, special teams that you have, access to certain things. There's all these different things if you get your mind thinking what makes you unique and how can you package that together to the market.
Yep, and how do you make sure that you vocalize that? Yeah, it's funny because I recently hired a new cleaner for my home, a cleaning company. And what actually had me hire them was they have a tricolor system. Now, they literally call it the tricolor system. It's within their branding. It's just everything about this company. They speak about their tri system. They've got a red, green, and blue zoned system. And even in their flyers, their brochures, they literally go, this is what we do. We've got a system that's red, green, and blue. This is what we do in the red. This is what we do in the green. This is what we do in the blue to make sure that your home always looks epic. And it goes into the detail of the red zone is the bathrooms, the en-suites, the toilets. And what we do here is we flick the dust and remove cobwebs. We tidy and fold towels. We empty and clean bins. We clean mirrors. It goes into the depth of the red zones and it paints a picture of the whole thing being done. So it's like spring cleaning every week kind of thing. Then the green zones, which are the kitchen and the laundry, they need different love. This is the different kind of love that we give them, plus the standard love. Then we've got the blue rooms, which are blue zones, which are the bedrooms and the lounge rooms. They have a certain, so they've zoned it, they've categorized it, they've called themselves, they've called it the tri-color cleaning system. Now, all of a sudden, they're different in the marketplace.
Yeah.
They're not just another cleaner. They have their own unique system and they train all of their staff, all their cleaners within that system, which means that when their cleaners come on board, they're taught a system, which means that even if one of their cleaners was to quit or get sick or whatnot, you're not going to, I know that, the next person coming in is running a system And does that make sense? Where I literally decided to do business with these guys. Now, guess what? They're a bit more expensive than the others. So why would I pay a bit more? Because they have a system. I love what they're doing. I love the attention to detail within their system, within their process. They've created their own intellectual property, their own unique mechanism for the marketplace.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden they stand out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so this is for you guys. For me, I've got my business freedom formula. I've got a system that I work with my clients in. It's a system. It's like the truth of the matter is everyone goes through this system and creates this. It's 6 pillars that they build into their business in order to create the time and the money, freedom and the fulfillment they desire. Now, nobody else does what I do, which means that if someone comes to see me and I say, this is what we're going to create together, this is the system, this is what we're working on together, they can't go somewhere else and buy what I sell anywhere else because I'm the only one that does what I do.
Yeah.
Which positions me in an awesome position because that means that people are going to buy the outcome that I'm selling through the system that I'm selling it. They're not buying business coaching and mentoring. They're actually buying my system, my formula. And this is where I really want you to get into the headspace of wearing your uniqueness on your sleeve, and speaking from your uniqueness, positioning yourself from your uniqueness versus being afraid to. Some people in business are honestly a little bit afraid to step into their uniqueness because they feel a little bit like funny. What if no one likes my uniqueness? Or what if they think my system's, weird? Or what if they laugh at me? What if they reject me? The truth of the matter is if you don't step into your uniqueness, create a unique mechanism, an intellectual property, have a unique selling proposition, step into having something, shine about your business. Now, if you don't do this, you will stay general. And if you stay general, you don't attract the amount of clients. You don't get people traveling a long distance, and you end up price comparing. The truth of the matter is if you're just a hairdresser, they're just going to price compare. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're a specialist, like Quinton said, look at the GP versus the specialist. People will travel, people will pay more. It's completely accepted. No one goes, oh, well, why should I pay you more? We completely are okay and have accepted the fact that specialists get paid more. When it comes to marketing, you need to move out of generalist and into specialist/expert as soon as you possibly can. And it's tapping into, this is one of those things where you've got to tap into what's unique about you, get brilliant at mastering your own unique system, working from your system, making sure that all your staff work from your system, maintaining a unique operation in your market, and therefore you're different. You stand out in a crowd. Your people aren't price comparing you. People will travel a very long distance, to see you and to experience your genius. It's funny. I've hired a health expert. He's a kinesiologist, and his title's a bit different, so I can't even remember what it is. I'm just going to call him a health coach and a kinesiologist. The guy himself is an expert. Is an expert in a specific field. Now, I travel over an hour to see this man. He's not at all he's not local to me in any way, shape or form. But the reason I travel to see him, and I travel well over an hour to see him and have sessions with him every couple of weeks, is because of his expertise, because he specializes in the specific thing that I am after. And this is where he could be a generalist. He could just position himself as just health general and a kinesiologist that specializes in all things health. But he actually specializes in working with people and repairing an overachiever back to their prime self. So he works with gold medalists. He works with seasoned athletes who've gone hard and kind of wrecked their adrenals and wrecked their bodies a bit. He specializes in repairing the body back to its optimum and then installs upgrades to ensure that the body actually functions even better than it ever did. And to me, well, that's friggin' awesome. That's unique. Nobody else is, claiming that and promising that. So of course, I'm going to go see him because it's what I'm after. Does that make sense? So that means that
it gives certainty. It gives so much certainty to people checking you out that you are confident in the sense of getting them what they're after, their desired state. And if you have something that differentiates yourself, a system, a strategy that makes you unique, then it gives you more credibility and more certainty to the prospect.
Yep. And so simply put, there's a few ways to do this. One of them is that you could have like a unique machine. So if you know that you've got a business and you've got a unique machine or something, that's unique within your industry, start talking about it, its benefits, and why it, is the thing to choose. And people will come to you because you're the only one with that machine. Like I said, with laser hair removalist, that's one of the simplest, quickest things you could do straight away. You start talking about that kind of stuff. Two, when you go deeper on creating your own system, this is where you want to look at shapes and colors. So honestly, it is literally going, okay, what we do, because you're going to find that you're going to have your unique style of working with your clients. And you're going to be doing it differently to everybody else anyway. You just haven't verbalized, you haven't put a bow on it yet.
Yeah.
If you haven't created IP, you just simply haven't put a framework around it. And literally it looks like this. It could just be that you go, okay, how many components make up my system? Yeah. How many components make up the system that I actually work with my clients with? So for me, it was 6. There's 6 different components that 6 different parts to the system that, the machine that we build within their business to create the time and the money freedom. Now, so what you do then is so for me it was 6. For you it could be 3, like my cleaners, they have 3, So what you want to do is you go, okay, what components, let's break it up. What, from the time they walk into my door to the time they walk out my door completely happy with the result they want, how many steps need to occur? What are the steps and how many of them are there? Yeah. Now, this isn't micro steps. These are like chunk big steps. So they're like umbrella steps, meaning they're, like the heading, if that makes sense. Not the content, the heading.
Yeah.
So, so for example, say we're just going to, let's have some fun with this. So say you're a relationship coach. And, from dateless and desperate to married with kids, So you go, so what you want to do is you want to go, okay, what's step 1? What's the first thing I need to do? Or what's the first thing my client needs to know? What's the intro phase? What's the onboard phase? What do we need to call that? And it could be simply, okay, well, if you're dateless and, if you're desperate and dateless and you want to be in a relationship, the very first thing, could be, for argument's sake, that you need to identify what it is that you want in an ideal partner. So the very first step could be clarity, Then once you've got the clarity, the next step could be that are you a match for the person that you want to, attract and have in your world? Meaning that if you want someone who is beautiful and tall and rich and famous, are you beautiful, tall, rich and famous?
Are they going to relate with you? Are you going to be a match for them?
That's right. So step 2 could be, are you a match? If not, then it's about creating you to be the match, Then step 3 could be, I don't know, what could step 3 be, Quinton?
Well, step 3 could be once you've identified who you want and then you've worked out if you are a match, then it is actually time to go out there to see where they're hanging out. Where can you actually meet this person? So it is identifying opportunities, locations. So it could be a bar, it could be a park, it could be a cafe. You're trying to source out where's this ideal person hanging out. Basically, it's just marketing is coming back to me.
I like it. So step 1 is, step 1 is what fish do I want? Step 2 is do I have the right bait? Step 3 is let's go fishing. 100%. So where do I fish? And then step 4 is what do you do with the fish once you catch it?
Yeah.
So then ultimately you've got a 4-pillar process where it's like if you look at it from a dating perspective, it would be four pillars to it. Now you can use shapes with this. So your model, your intellectual property could be 4 circles, for example, and they're all different colored, so does that make sense? Where there's a circle and it says, so it could be the fish with a question mark. The next circle could be a different color.
It's the hooks.
the hook, the bait. The next one is
the pond.
fish. Yeah, the pond fishing location, and the fourth one, is keep the fish. So and everything within that is the stuff you work on with your clients, and your system is a 4-pillar system where we work in these 4 pillars to get you the result. We get you clear on what you want. We make sure that you're the right bait. We get you fishing, and we give you everything you need to keep the fish long term. So all of a sudden you have a system. You give this system a name, and it could be let's just make
it could just be the 4 steps to dating. 4 steps to dating. So from single to dating in 4 steps.
There you go. From single to from single to dating in 4 steps. Or you could actually call your system a specific name and put a little trademark at the end of it. So for example, I've got the Business Freedom Machine with a trademark, and it's actually a machine which runs in a model. There's a ladder, and there's each letter step has the different pillar that we work on, and that's the machine itself. If you're you could use a ladder, you could use circles, you could use a triangle, and have 3 different points where you've got a word on each side of the triangle edge, and that could be your system that you work in. And ultimately all you do, guys, is you give it a name, like I called mine the Business Freedom Machine, and then under that, the 6-pillar system to create more freedom, time and money, freedom and fulfillment.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So this is where literally all you do is go from absolute starting point to end point. What are all the different chunks that need to happen? Now let's put them into a shape, give it some color, give it a name, and Bob's your uncle, you've got IP.
and the key point here is to keep it simple, because it's something that when a prospect looks at it through your marketing, they need to be able to understand it by looking at the visual. So it needs to be something that they can articulate by looking at shapes. That if you need to find it out what works for your model. That if you only have 3 steps, if it happens in a certain order, then you could put it in a triangle, and on each point is one part, or you can put lines in the triangle. So the top of the pyramid is the pinnacle, and the bottom they have to start with first.
Yeah. Which is really cool, because you can have a triangle pyramid, which is a ladder, which is what you're saying, yeah?
Yes,
so it's think of a triangle pyramid type thing, but it's a ladder. So there's so if you draw a line through it, there's a big pillar there's a big step at the bottom, a medium step, and then a small step. And it could so ultimately this is where when you create IP, and to be honest with you, you can be raw, with your first go and tweak it as you go.
Yeah.
Ultimately though, by having a model that you work with, you're selling a model, you're selling a tangible system, not just what everybody else is selling. And this really does relate to coaches and consultants quite heavily. That if you're a coach or a consultant, I cannot tell you the power of having your own model, your own pyramid, your own triangle, your own circles, whatever shape you want to go through, where you've got a system that you're selling. You're not just another leadership coach. You're not just another relationship coach, a health coach. You've actually got a system, a framework that you work in, and you're selling the outcome, because what you do is intangible. It's a service. And this goes across the board to everybody within the wellness industry too. If you're a naturopath, if you're a kinesiologist, a Bowen therapist, create a visual of the process that they're going to go through. That looks simple. So it's not like by the way, a system is never 28 circles. So this is not, you don't want to complicate it. It's, up to 6, like you could have 8, but the truth of the matter is you really don't want it to be complicated. You want them to look at it and it's chunking. It's under an umbrella. It's all the work that happens. Well, there'll be detailed points to the work, but it's all under one little umbrella of, fish. Like we said with the relationship, first you need to know what fish you want, then you need to get the right bait, then you need to go fishing, and then you need to know what to do with the fish.
Yeah.
And so for you guys, it's literally going, okay, from point A to point Z. What's the umbrella points? Then what shape do I want to use? Do I want to maybe have it, or is it linear, or is it completely independent? So for example, if you've got a system that's not linear, meaning it's not first this, then that, you could literally just have 4 circles, sort of like making up a square shape. and the 4 different headings in that, in that system. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it doesn't, like, there's so many different models to choose from. Ultimately, guys, it's just looking at shapes. Literally go into like Word on your computer and click the shapes option, and there's plenty to choose from. There's even in Word, you've got, what's it called? Smart Art. There's
Yes.
so many different, it's like right there on Smart Art. In Word document, you'll be able to pick a shape, chuck your system into that shape, and you can start using intellectual property in your marketing and selling from that.
Yeah.
So when someone comes to you, tell them we do things differently. This is how we do it.
And, you make it fit in your frame. You explain it to them from your frame, so that they can see how it's all working together.
Yeah.
What's coming to mind is thinking about Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins has his 6 core needs. That's his frame. Then everything fits within that frame. And John C. Maxwell with leadership, he's got 5
Yes.
levels of leadership. So everything fits in that frame. Sharon Pearson, she has the ESIP model. So everything fits in that frame. And
Yes.
she explains everything from that frame. So for those of you listening, if you're on the still in the service industry, if you're a hairdresser, or if you're a cleaner or a dentist, or any of that, where you're not as a consultant or a consultant or coach, go look at the great leaders in your field and just see what kind of frames do they have, what kind of systems, step-by-step process that they do, and that they are marketing from. That just gives you an idea as to what you can create. Start reading leadership books, because every leader that pitches leadership has their own frame of how they see the world fit in leadership. So you can start seeing how they use their circles and their diagrams to explain a model in a very simplistic manner.
Yes, exactly. And this is the thing. So, like I said, it's all about having a unique point of difference. It's having a unique mechanism. It could be a physical model. It could just be that you're talking about the uniqueness. One of my clients has a phenomenal hair salon, and one of her unique differences is that she's an expert in the face shape and knows exactly what kind of hairstyle brings out the face shape. So, in her marketing, she very much so talks about the fact that, we've all got our own we've all got beauty within us, and our hair can either shape and bring out our best self, or it can actually, bring out our worst features.
Yeah.
So she styles to face shape, and she'll help you identify what the best hairstyle is for your face shape. Now this is a unique thing, because it's very much so, like, does that mean there's only whatever it is, there's the square face, the round face, the oval face, the triangle face, but for her, it's actually, speaking about this, working from this model, her stylists are trained to work within this model, and it's a different kind of model. So they're not just, like, it's not just a hairdresser. She's actually got a system that she works within. Now, for you guys, as you're listening to this, ask yourself, what's unique about me? What are the different steps that I cover that others don't? Or even if they do, who cares? You know what? Ironically, a lot of the times, you could be doing the same thing as every other naturopath, but you're the only one that's actually put it into a model, given it a name, and gone out there and marketed that way, and you're the only one that gives people clarity on the process, and they'll choose you because you're the only one with a system. Even if it's a system that everybody else is using, you're the only one that's named it and put a bow on it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it starts off with simply just, grab a system, your system, put a bow on it, meaning, put it in a package, give it an identity by giving it a shape, a color, and a name.
Yeah. And it can evolve. It can move along. If I think about the marketing side of things with the agency, that we specialize with getting bums on seats. So as we are testing new strategies and we're working off one principle first, and we see what's working better than others, and testing that, we're starting to put a frame together that we can then use as intellectual property, because this frame works for that model. So as you're growing, as you're getting more and more results, the frame can change and take on things or remove things. It can become more steps, less steps. So really just hone on it from where you are and the results that you're getting, even if you're asking your clients what makes us special, why are you with us, what is it that we do differently that makes you want to stay with us, and they might say to you that you're cleaning it in a certain way, or you're cutting my hair in a certain way, and I get confidence from you because of this. That is putting you different than everyone else, and that's valuable information.
Very awesome, absolutely awesome insight. Thanks, Quinton. Oh, you're just a rock star. What can I say? Yeah. So, guys, this is your opportunity to sit down and go, okay, what's my unique point of difference? Let's start talking about it. Let's make sure that my marketing, my website, when I'm out there, I speak from that particular point of view. Now, just so you know, uniqueness comes from things like an expertise, having a specific unique machine, something that's different. Having a system, like we said, having a unique system that you work in. And by giving someone that, it really does magnify them to you versus others in your marketplace. You're positioning yourself you're going from generalist to specialist expert. And it changes the game. It does change the game where people will travel far and wide. So for example, with the laser hair removalist I was talking to you about, as soon as she told me that her machine is actually pain-free. It's one of the only ones in the world that's brilliant and pain-free. By the way, she's like over an hour from me. So I think she's about an hour and 15 minutes or something like that drive from me. Guess what? Guess who I'm going to get my laser from? And not only me, my friend who's also local to me is also going to her because we don't want to be in pain, while we're zapped to look beautiful.
Yeah.
And so this is the thing, that these things make a massive difference, and often in business we just don't think about it. We're not putting that unique foot forward. So this is your opportunity to put your unique foot forward. By the way, if you've got questions about this, you'd like some feedback about this specific thing, if you want to let us know what you've come up with, and we're happy to give you feedback, join Marketing with Vino Club. Go to marketingwithvino.com. If you haven't already join Marketing with Vino Club, which is a private Facebook group where we get on there and you can post questions and show us what you're up to, and we can actually personally give you some feedback on this. I also posted yesterday, I believe, or Monday, I posted up my own intellectual property in the group. So you could have a look at my model and you could technically model my model. It's a bit more complex than what we're talking about, but it's still a nice little thing for you to see an example of this play out for yourself.
Yeah.
Quinton, what would you add to that, my friend?
I think that's basically it, that we've given so much right now around this, and we would love to hear from you, the listener, on how you are implementing this, on what are you're getting from this, what is it that you're taking away from this, and helping you with developing this through the process. This is something that's maybe new to a lot of people, or some people might have something but want to have it tweaked. There's plenty of conversations that we can have around this, and the only way that we can actually help you is by having you inside the club. So go to marketingwithvino.com and join the club. One of the legends will get you in, and really just put up for episode 21. Here is my thoughts on X, and we will start the conversation keep the conversation going from there.
Yep. Post your IP in there and tell us, this is what I've got. What do you reckon? And we'll help you tweak it, because that's just who he is.
That's it. Guys, it has been absolutely amazing. You guys are the best listeners. And
so good. Such good listeners.
I wish I could give them an award or something for listening so attentively.
Yeah. We'll put an award up in the Marketing with Vino Club. The awesome listener award goes to all of you. Thank you, guys. It's an honor and a pleasure to hang out with you. And Quinton, an absolute honor and a pleasure to hang out with you, my beautiful friend.
Same goes to you. And guys, there's also something else coming up, that I'm actually flying down to Melbourne to go and present at Gabby's stage for her clients. So there's an opportunity for us to get live again, because we are going to be together. So if you are inside the club, you're going to receive something cool. We'll just do something live. For those of you who want to be in on it, please join the club. You're going to love it. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Gabs. It's been amazing as always.
Absolutely. And guys, I'm super pumped. Quinton's going to be a guest host at my event, and I've brought him in because we're talking about Facebook, and where my clients are building out all sorts of cool Facebook funnels and making epic Facebook stuff happen. Yeah, so I'm so happy because Quinton and I are doing, it's the first time that we're actually going to be presenting live together. Yeah, so we'll see how we go without the Vino. I'm sure we'll be fine. Super pumped, and yeah, we're looking at forward to sharing some of that cool gold stuff with you. We'll record some of it and share it in the club.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you much, so guys. Thanks, Gabs, and speak to you next time.
Ciao.
You've been listening to Marketing with Vino. If you enjoyed this episode and want to access the resources discussed in this episode, go to marketingwithvino.com and select which episode you've listened to.